There are certain athletes in team sports who just make sense being on their teams. Derek Jeter was always a Yankee. Kershaw was always a Dodger. Chipper was always a Brave. You get the idea. But nobody fits their team better in today's game than Bryce Harper fits the Phillies and the city of Philadelphia. Though he's played for the Nationals, after being drafted and developed by them, of course, he's known these days as the face of the Phillies, an adopted son of the city of brotherly love, frequently donning Fanatics-themed cleats, repping Philly everywhere he goes, even as a native of Las Vegas, and even as a fan of a division rival of both of Harper's teams, past and present, I can't help but to root for the guy. Not actively, but just in the broader sense. Baseball is better when its stars are at the forefront of the sport, and Harper fits that criteria unlike anyone else. And Harper is a Philly through and through. Bryce Harper has been part of the broad baseball zeitgeist since he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at the age of 16. Dubbed the Chosen One, Harper was unsurprisingly drafted first overall in the 2010 MLB Draft. Getting his GED as a junior in high school and going straight to junior college more than prepared him for the draft. And almost 2 years in the minor leagues, he made his debut in April of 2012 at Dodger Stadium. Harper went on to win NL Rookie of the Year and helped guide the Nationals back to the postseason. As a rookie in 2012, Harper hit .270 with an .817 OPS and a .121 WRC+, recording 4.4 wins above replacement according to Fangraphs. Only Mike Trout was more valuable, according to WAR, among all rookies in 2012. But like most 19-year-olds, Harper was brash, unfiltered, and maybe immature. In 2012, Harper, then just 19 years old, was asked by a reporter following a game against the Blue Jays in Canada if he'd be taking advantage of Canada's lower drinking age. To that, Harper replied, "That's a clown question, bro. I'm not answering that." That response probably showed you a sort of bravado, an unfiltered and raw version of Harper. But it was synonymous with the way he played. All out, aggressive, and with borderline reckless abandon. But the results were worth it. Harper racked up the accolades and ascended to the top of the baseball world in the blink of an eye. And if not for Mike Trout's otherworldly start to his career, Harper would be the undisputed face of baseball. But there was a certain edge to Harper that rubbed people the wrong way. People didn't take very well to his antics on and off the field, and it wasn't like he got in trouble with the law or did anything nefarious. He just resembled one of those players that you love him when he's on your team and despise when he isn't. He wasn't necessarily a villain, but he wasn't exactly beloved in every corner of baseball. And that's not just from us, the fans. It's other players viewing him as overrated, him getting into fights and things of that nature. As a Braves fan, Harper gave us someone to hate, a singular divisional rival who torched the club on a regular basis. Someone you'd love to have on your side and despise when he isn't. In 2015, Bryce Harper torched not just the Braves, but the entire league. In 153 games for the Nats, Harper posted 9.7 wins above replacement, leading the league in home runs, runs, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and adjusted OPS. And with 124 walks compared to 131 strikeouts, Harper displayed a deadly mix of power and consistency on his way to being unanimously voted the NL MVP. With one of the most highly anticipated free agencies on the horizon, the Nationals surely had to do everything in their power to retain their franchise cornerstone. When he reached free agency, Harper signed what was then the biggest contract in Major League history. But it wasn't with the Nationals, whose offers to Harper were, in his words, disappointing. He'd sign a contract for 13 years worth $330 million to play for the Philadelphia Phillies. And when we take a step back and look at the value of that deal, you could very easily argue that the contract he signed was a bargain. Harper has been worth every penny in the nearly 5 full seasons as a Philly. His 2019 season got off to a terrific start, highlighted by this electric walk-off grand slam. He'd post an .882 OPS with a 124 WRC+, slugging 35 homers and driving in a career-high 114. Though the Phillies would miss the playoffs, Harper was beginning to plant his roots in every sense. And in 2021, his second full season in Philadelphia, Harper produced one of the best single seasons of his career. While he was decent in the first half of 2021, Harper's second half surge, one that saw him hit .338 with 20 home runs, 50 RBIs, and an 1188 OPS in 73 games, earned him the 2021 National League MVP over his former teammate Juan Soto and then rising star Fernando Tatis Jr. Harper's second NL MVP saw him lead all of baseball in WRC+, slugging percentage, and OPS. And it wasn't just the counting stats or creating offense holistically. Harper's win probability added for the 2021 season trailed one player in Major League Baseball, and yes, it's Shohei Ohtani. But his impact on the city of Philadelphia really came center stage in 2022. With the Phillies on the brink of their first World Series appearance since 2009, Harper launched an opposite field home run off Padres reliever Robert Suarez to put the Phillies ahead for good. Labeled the swing of his life by Fox broadcaster Joe Davis, Harper's home run sent the already frenzied Citizens Bank Park to a whole new level. The Phillies made the World Series on the heels of their favorite adopted son. And Harper wasn't just a passenger on a really good team. He was the driving force behind the Phillies' run to the World Series, hitting .349 with an 1160 OPS, a .217 WRC+, and 6 home runs, including the aforementioned decisive homer in the NLCS. And if you don't think he was clutch, his win probability added was 1.01. By himself in the 2022 postseason, Bryce Harper was worth more than one full win. But you see, it wasn't just the on-field production that endeared Harper to Philadelphia. It was the way he embraced the city of brotherly love and all that comes with it. The blue-collar work ethic despite his status as baseball's chosen one, wearing your heart on your sleeve and not being afraid to show emotion, and most importantly, coming up clutch when the lights shine brightest. And just as he showed last postseason against the Braves, it's reminding his opponents that if you want to talk that talk, you gotta walk the walk. Just ask Orlando Arcia. If you f*** around, you're going to find out. Though Harper has matured considerably, he doesn't quite play with the same reckless abandon, at least from the outside, and he's more intent on setting an example for his kids. He's still the same hard-working, obsessive player, hell-bent on delivering for his team and his city. When he tore his UCL and would require surgery, his first thought was how he'd get back on the field and play. Could a catcher converted to an outfielder make the switch to first base without sacrificing anything? Of course he can. It's Bryce Harper. And when he returned from Tommy John surgery, after just 160 days, he reminded us all that he's more than just the chosen one. He's one of the hardest working players in the game. Baseball is better when its stars are at the top of their game, and there are few stars brighter than Bryce Harper. He is to Philadelphia what Aaron Judge is to New York. He may not have the same consistent stat sheet superstardom of a Judge or Ohtani, but he's the walking embodiment of the city of Philadelphia. He's not an official captain because baseball works in mysterious ways, but he may as well wear a C on his chest to remind us all that he's not just a player for the Phillies. He's the leader of that team. He is the Philadelphia Phillies. Though he's more polished these days, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He plays with a chip on his shoulder despite being the most highly touted prospect of his generation. And when the lights shine brightest, Harper steps up to the plate and delivers more consistently and emphatically than anyone. With the postseason right around the corner, Phillies fans will be eager to see what sort of chapter Bryce Harper writes in 2024. The Phillies are primed for another run at the World Series, and with their talismanic slugger leading a lineup filled with stars, gritty veterans, and a pitching staff that can go toe-to-toe with anyone, it might finally be Harper's time to lift the Commissioner's Trophy. Is that a stretch, considering how good other teams around baseball have been in 2024?
That's a clown question, bro.
That's all for now. Let me know what you think about Harper in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.